let's discuss this.
Discuss it.
All right, cool. I take my girlfriends out all the time, right?
Cool.
But if my girl were to say I want to go out with 7 other girls to the club, in my personal experience, I'd be unhappy for her to do that because I've been the man in the club that those 7 girls turn up to and end up on his table, and I know what happens. I've lived a very, very long life. I know how that ends.
Okay.
Now, I think that, and I've discussed this already before. I think I discussed this yesterday with Dave Portnoy, which he got upset about. I discussed that if I'm going to be in a relationship and I'm going to have responsibility over a woman, which I want to have because it's my masculine imperative, I should also have a degree of authority that comes with that responsibility. If I'm responsible for her safety, for example, but she refuses to obey me when I say don't walk home in the middle of the night, then how can I truly be responsible? Responsibility and authority are linked. I'm responsible for her because I'm her man and I take the best care of her. I might know things she doesn't know. She might be 19 years old and think going to the club's all fine. I'm 35. I've been around. I've seen what happens in clubs. No, you don't need to go there. I'm responsible for you. I take care of you. And by extension, I have authority to say to you, you're not going to that nightclub. That doesn't make me crazy. It doesn't make me insecure. It doesn't make me weak. She can always say I'm going to go anyway, and that's fine, and then we can break up. And any man who sits there and goes, I'm not insecure, I'll send my girl to the club.
Okay.
Send her to my table, G. Send her to my table.
Okay.
No problem.
Fair enough. Okay.
We'll talk about insecurity when she's sucking dick.
If your girl was to go to the club, right, and I was at the club, you're scared that I will bring your girl home.
I don't live in. It's not about scared because I don't live in fear.
Well, I mean that's fear.
No, it's not fear.
Okay.
What it is.
Okay. What is the outcome that you do not want of her going to the club?
I'll explain.
Guys coming over and bringing her home. You, by fear, you are scared of her going home with another guy. That is a move that is literally fueled by fear. You are fearful.
That's an interesting viewpoint, and I know you think that that's relevant, and I know you think you've made a good point, but I'm about to dissect it.
Go ahead.
I'm a territorial individual, and I think that being a man, one of the best things about being a man is being territorial, being able to say, that is mine. That's the whole point of it. So let's use an analogy, and please, when I make this analogy, I don't want you to try and get caught up in the analogy, because I'm about to compare a woman to a car. Do not say, you're comparing women to cars. That's low IQ. This is just an analogy. If I go outside, right, or let's say I have a Lamborghini. I have many cars, but let's say I take my Lamborghini. Would I park it in a high crime area? Even if the locks are fantastic, even if my woman is loyal and completely and utterly in love with me, and I know there's 0% chance any man could ever take her home because she's with the top G, which is the case. Even if I know the locks on my car, it has bulletproof glass, it's locked, you can't break into it. Will I park my Lambo in an area where people are going to try and steal it? No, I won't, because that is irresponsible. So the fact is, I don't care if men try and come up to my chick, because no one can steal my chick, because I am me. The fact is, it's irresponsible for me to put her in a scenario where people will attempt it. If I walk out
But you are comparing it to a car, because a car has no free will. The car doesn't care where it's parked at all whatsoever. You care. If a girl wants to have fun with her friends at the club, that's a whole different story. The car literally does not have a single opinion whether it stands there or at home. He's fucking retarded, talking about low IQ takes.
The car park and someone's trying to break into my car. Even if the locks to my car are secure.
What's that? You haven't said no more lick slip than with our streamer. This is what happened when Nob starts streaming. Yes, 30 minutes. Big
The
Nob.
fact that it's irresponsible for me to put her in that scenario. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean the argument would be good. If I were you, I'm making that argument. I could rationalize the argument you just did. If most of the girls that I dated or that I was with had the IQ of somebody who cannot move, think, or do anything, and is just stuck on the side of the fucking curb. So yeah, I guess maybe you would have this experience.
Thank God
if most of you did
it.
were 0 IQ, brain frozen. Yeah, but it doesn't make sense in the real world because you don't park your fucking girl on the curb at the club. They move, they talk, they do shit. So it's not a fucking it's not the danger of other guys doing shit, right? Because they can still think. And the loss of the potential that one guy out of a million will do some crazy shit and is going to forcibly bring her home, right? Is far outweighed by the fun and enjoyment and fulfillment that they get by going to the club in the first place.
That's interesting, but you also have to understand, because we are different individuals living very different lives, and I'm not going to sit here and comment on your relationships because I don't understand them because I don't know them.
Okay.
But you have to understand. That I am at a status of life where any woman who gets with me understands that to be with a man of my caliber, there are certain sacrifices which must be made. You do not get to be with a kickboxing world champion, multi-millionaire, whose entire life is completely on track and live a life of spoilt princess, and then also say to that man, I go to the club whenever the fuck I want. You might be able to say that to some other men, but you can't say it to me. So a woman which may say to you, I'm a unique special snowflake, I do whatever the fuck I want. If she was in my presence, she wouldn't say that. Now, because women are a reflection of their man. It's not hard to get a woman who sits there and says, you know what? I don't go to the club without my man because I adore my man. If the man is worthy of such adoration.
I guess I don't.
If the woman sitting there going, well, I'm with him, but he doesn't tell me what to do. That's the man's problem. It's nothing to do with the woman. Females are all the same. It's all about the man they're with. I have no trouble and no arguments in my life telling women they don't go to the club by themselves. Zero. It's not a conversation that even ever appears ever because I am me. So for you to sit here and describe scenarios, that's fine. And you're saying that my women are low IQ. I would counter that by saying if I was with the same women you were with, they'd behave better for me than they would for you. And that is because of my status and my wisdom and my individuality.
Bro, you treat and pay for them like they're Lambos that are parked at the curb. Of course they're going to be like this if you want to go down that argument. So yeah, I guess once more I have to concede the point because you're right. I guess you dated frozen Lambos parked at the curb.
It's not frozen Lambos.
I mean, that is what you compared. That is your example. You compared the behavior and the potentials of her being stolen to a parked Lambo. Therefore, I have to use that analogy when talking about the girls that you are dating, and you are saying, I'm sorry, it's not an insult. You made this precedent. I have to use it.
I will take any woman I could date, any of women you've ever, I don't know who your girlfriends are, I don't have a clue, but any woman you've ever dated, if I was with her, she wouldn't be going to the club without me. That's the bottom line. And that's because who I am. The only reason clubs even exist, and I'll tell you why, the basic mechanics of clubs. I know a little bit about it because I own a couple. The basic mechanics of clubs is that you fill them with girls. Girls have no money. Men come, spend ridiculous amounts of money on alcohol, which is massively overpriced to try and attract females.
Yes.
If you get a club with no females in it, no men even go. The whole point of a nightclub is to fuck. So I will not send my woman who is with me to the fucking ground.
Okay.
Okay. Walmart, but she ain't gonna go to a place which is specifically designed and set up for her to get intoxicated and famous. And not because I think she will get famous, because she is too respectful for me, too respectful of me to go to a scenario in which she would be seen. Even listen, bro, you may disagree with me. I'll tell you something.
Well, like I said, your arguments fall on its face because I mean, she obeys me, right? She has friends and feels fulfilled at doing social activities, and her friends all want to go to the club. It's some girl's birthday, and yes, she's single. That one is vulnerable. It's a vulnerable prey. Okay, that girl. Okay, but they're all going to the club together, right? My girl can't tag along. No, she can't. She cannot partake. She cannot partake in social activities that make her feel fulfilled socially. She can't. She can't because that club is designed for people to fuck, right? So she can't go in there or close to it, right? Dude, so many more places are designed to fuck, and more people get fuck out of them. So how does that make sense?
It's your prerogative what you want to do inside of your own relationship.
It's not a prerogative. I want you to explain that.
Sure, I will explain. Again, no problem. Firstly, you just gave a very particular scenario. So,
no,
right now
that's important because if you say all, then it has to be all the specifics.
All my girl doesn't. When I say my girl doesn't go clubbing, I mean she doesn't go clubbing, right? So I mean she does not go out all the weekend. She ain't partying anytime she wants. She doesn't go clubbing. Let's imagine there's a particular birthday for a girl, and this girl is a girl I know, and I think she's a pretty good influence, and she's not a bad girl, and they all want to go to the club, and I drop her off and I pick her up. Then that is a scenario in which it possibly could happen.
Then why do you say all then? If you agree on a scenario, then why do you say all? See, this is something that you always do that when you're vocal about your mindset. That irritates me a little bit, right? Not personally, but just overall hearing that is that when you say alls, right, and you're very very hard about that when you're alone on camera, right, and you don't get interviewed or kind of argued. It's a monologue, not a dialogue. You say all, I'm not such a lion, all. But when you come here and we talk about it, you say, but this scenario, but that one, but this one, but that one. How does that make sense, bro?
Because there are scenarios. Obviously, there are scenarios. Exceptions don't disprove rules. When I say my woman doesn't go clubbing, I mean she does not on the weekends be out clubbing. She does not message me, I'm at the club tonight, see you tomorrow. She does not do that. You're giving me a very particular set of scenarios. Maybe once if her friend had a birthday, maybe, yeah, perhaps. What we're talking about is different things. And I'm telling you why. You're trying to disprove me using exceptions in very, very unique scenarios. I'm sitting here saying people are born with two eyes. And you're saying, no, some people are born with one eye. Yeah, that's true. But in general, when you say how many eyes does someone have, you say two. Now, if someone asks me how many eyes does someone have, and I say two, and you were to run along and go, I know someone with one eye, that does not make me fucking wrong. So you're just trying to use exceptions to disprove rules, and it doesn't work that way. Any woman who's with me, by in general, if you were to ask her, does she go clubbing? The answer would be no. I'm Andrew's girl. I don't go to clubs without Andrew. Now, are there very particular scenarios in which perhaps if a movie premiere and she's A-list and she has to go to a club for 15 minutes with security and I pick her up, yeah, sure. That's not the point we're fucking making. Any woman who's with me doesn't go to the club. And the most important point of all of this is she doesn't want to.
She doesn't want to.